Welcome to GA's Tea Time. We discuss all things General Hospital. Don't forget to hit that bell notification and to like and subscribe because it helps the channel. Let's get our teacups, our snacks, and let's begin. General Hospital Daily Recap, Monday, April 6th, 2026. Guys, we had a bunch of folks in this episode. We had some Portia, some Stella, some Sonny, some Danny, and a bunch of others. So let's see what our favorite bunch of characters are up to. So I wasn't even going to start this off by talking about Stella, but I couldn't hold my tongue. I mean, I was like, I got to start with her first. Stella needs to fall back. She can get on my nerve. She got me feeling like how I was feeling about Brad last week. I can't even believe this. Stella comes into Portia's office, with a little donut trying to bribe Portia. So she got this grandiose idea. She's like, you know what'd be great is if we decorate as a family the baby's nursery at your house. So, Portia is on the fence and she's just like, well, she's kind of like hesitant. She don't want to say yes, which I can understand. Like, come on now. But anyway, so she was like, yeah, it'd be good for the baby. It makes us all a family, this and that. She said, could you imagine Curtis and Trina in there picking out and I'm like, what? Okay, the one thing I did not hear Stella say, what about Jordan? What about Isaiah? Are they gonna be invited to this whole we gonna put the nursery together? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. Did you hear that? Because if you heard it, let me see. Tell me that down in the comment section. So she goes on to this thing, and Portia just felt guilted into doing it. And she's like, well, you know what? Okay, it'll be good for the baby. No, well, this baby won't even know. It's okay. Stella needs to let these people get used to their new normal, I guess, because Curtis is with Jordan, Portia's with Isaiah. These people need to kind of learn how to be with the people that they're with, and everybody else needs to learn that this is the new thing, or this is what the new how this is the new family structure is going to be, and everybody needs to kind of get with it. But Stella, I didn't care for this. I mean, if you thought differently, let me know down in the comment section. But I felt like she bullied Portia into doing this. Isaiah came in. Isaiah's my new favorite because Isaiah said it straight out. He was like, what do you get out of this? Like, he was like, it almost seems like she bullied you into this. And I was like, thank you, Isaiah, right? So Portia's like, no, she's just saying, it's for the family, it's for the baby. And she wants it just so that there's no divide in the family and stuff. Honey, there is a divide already. Like you and your husband are no longer together. This is going to be a different picture for this baby, and they kind of need to start this from jump. But anyway, it was funny though. Jordan, Isaiah did say, well, after they do this, do you get to go over and decorate Jordan's house? I'm like, right? I'm like, this is crazy. I think Stella needs to let Portia get over not being married to Curtis anymore, and the same thing for Curtis, and for them to find a new normal, and this is not it. Stella needs to stay in her lane. Curtis, Trina, and Kai at Jordan's apartment, which is now Curtis' apartment, which is so funny that they call it Jordan's apartment. I think they probably need to find a place that's theirs because they can stop just calling it Jordan's apartment. But anyway, they waiting for Stella to get there because Stella summons everybody and told them they need to come over because she got something to say to them. So anyway, um, Stella finally gets there and she tells them this bright idea that she had about the baby, decorating the baby's room at Portia's house. And, they're all happy. Curtis is like, oh, yeah, that is a good idea. Why? Because Curtis didn't have to say it. Because Curtis wants control over the situation. He's probably just trying to figure out how he can do it and then stay in Jordan's good graces. There's not going to be any of that staying in good graces. And Isaiah and Jordan eventually are going to get rubbed the wrong way about his actions. I know what's coming. Curtis is just that way. Anyway, they all in there picking out what do you call it, decorations and all types of things like that. And I'm like, nobody is even considering that this might be a little uncomfortable situation. And again, when Stella came over there, I didn't hear not a word about, oh, this is really good that Jordan and them is going to be able to come over and do this, or that Isaiah is going to be included. How's Look, I can't wait to see this. I want to see if Jordan and Isaiah come to do this baby decoration and how great and wonderful it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be not as great and wonderful as Stella wants it to be. All right, that's my rant. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. I just don't think this is a good idea. Sonny and Rick were continuing their conversation with Sidwell after Marco's service. So Sidwell ain't hearing it. He thinks that Sonny did it. He is blaming Sonny 100%. Sonny was trying to tell him, listen, I understand I lost my own son the same way, and I understand you want to get revenge, but I didn't do it. Now, Sonny was saying, well, just one thing I thought was funny was Sidwell had said to him, you've been targeting my son all this time. He was like, it was two times. But if Sidwell realized the two times Sonny did something to his son came back alive, right? So what happened this time? So that's one thing. The second thing is the way it was done, it was too sloppy. That is not a Sonny MO. I understand, like Sonny said, this man is grieving, right? So he was like, he ain't hearing or seeing straight right now. But Sonny did tell him at the end, he was just like, the messed up part is you focused on me, and the real person who did this to Marco is out there, and you don't see that you have an enemy that you haven't seen yet. Like this person is just around. And I said, well, no, he got a lot of people that he done did dirt with. He's doing dirty stuff. This whatever this thing is that he's doing at his house, and that thing that they want Britt to work on. For him to just be focusing on Sonny and not looking at anybody else makes no sense. But whatever. After that, Sidwell went on. Sonny and Rick left, and Sidwell went on to this crazy rant, and he was just like, he is gonna make Sonny pay no matter what. But the way he's saying it is like he wants Sonny to feel the same pain that he's felt, so he's gonna go after probably one of Sonny's kids. So somebody getting ready to get affected by this stuff that Sidwell's going through. Now, Sonny already felt this kind of way because we know he lost Morgan. I guess Sidwell didn't do it, but he knows what that feeling feels like. Anyway, I guess one of the kids getting ready to get affected again. And this is crazy too. Like, just a side note, I know I'm ranting today, but he already did stuff to Sonny's kids. He done did that thing to Michael. Michael got all burnt up, and then Christina almost got it in that fire at Charlie's. So I mean, listen, you need to fall back a little bit, so well. But we're gonna see what happens with this. I'm thinking that opening for Charlie's is something's getting ready to pop off. Danny came over to see Sonny after all this time. That's where he should have went in the first place. But anyway, he came over to see Sonny, and he's telling Sonny he wants revenge for the people that did this to his father. He wants to go after the WSB. You know what? Funny, Danny said something that is 100% true. He said, the WSB are the real criminals. Hello? Only person that don't know this is Josh. She running after Sonny. They just as bad as Sonny, maybe worse. But anyway, so Danny's just like he wants to go after them. Please, Danny don't understand. I understand he's upset and he's hurting, but those ain't the people to be messing around with. Um, they sent Danny on his way. Sonny was kind of like, "Let me handle this. This is what we do. Just wait. Go on." So Danny left, but he didn't fully leave. He came back and he overheard Rick and Sonny talking, and he heard them talking about Sidwell, and they believe Sidwell was the one that set Jason up. Why? Oh my goodness. I feel now this man gonna hurt this child. I'm like, please don't let him get caught up with Sidwell and stuff like that, especially with Sidwell grieving. No. So Danny is probably gonna go over there to do something to Sidwell. I hope somebody stops him before that happens. Danny went over to see Charlotte at Crimson because he's really upset about his father, which is understandable. Jacinda walked out and saw Danny there, and she kind of was like, "Okay, I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes. I'll go find something to do, but I really need your help once he's gone." So Danny went back and told Charlotte that he wants to do something. He got to get back at the people that did something to her, to his father. Now, Jacinda is listening at the door as Danny and Charlotte are talking. And Charlotte and him keeps going on talking, and she brings up Valentine's name. She's like, "You gotta listen to my father. My father's been through this and stuff like that." Anyway, Danny leaves and say he has a plan, and he heads out. Charlotte was like, "Well, what's the plan?" He said, I'm not trying to tell you." He left. Jacinda comes out, and she's working with Charlotte, and they working on putting some clothes or whatever back together for Nina. And next thing you know, she starts asking her questions about her father, but like in a slick kind of way. She's just like, "Oh, so Charlotte's going into my father's a smart person. My mother's just doing this to watch over me," stuff like that. And I like Jacinda. And if you have not seen the video I just did, I did a video on Olivia, a feature on Olivia Falconeri and how she needs to leave Jacinda alone. But I like Jacinda, but I don't want her to do this to Charlotte. So I hope that she doesn't take that information, anything that she hears there, and give it to Brennan. because then I'm not gonna like Jacinda, and I don't want them to do that to her. I understand she's trying to help Michael, but Michael got a lot of money; he can help himself. He don't need her help. So we'll see what happens with this. Chase and Brooklyn were on their way downstairs to go see Willow, who was waiting for them in the little sitting foyer area. Before they got down there, Michael and Willow were talking about Kai giving Wiley some private lessons. And Willow's face looked a little twisted when Michael was like, "Oh, he's a good guy. He works for you." And she just looked like, because she know he know, right? So anyway, Michael headed out the door, and here comes Chase and Brooklyn. They come in to see Willow. So they thanking her for doing her part. I'm like, whatever. And then it's so funny because Willow says, well, the only thing that would have held you up from Foster and Phoebe is they're concerned that, when once the family's found, that you're not going to give the child up. So they were like, no, 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 we just want to foster the child. And she's like, well, I have to check because, when how the Quartermains are when they want to take kids and they don't want to give them back and take you to court because they got all this power. Well, Brooklyn's face was like biting her tongue off, twisted all the way up. I'm just like, I know she wanted to just yell at her at that point, but anyway, she kept her cool. She didn't say nothing, and then at the end of everything, Willow was like, "Oh no, they said you guys can force the baby Phoebe," so they get to force the baby Phoebe, right? Anyway, at the end of that, Chase was like, "Oh, I'll walk you out the door." So he's walking Willow to the door. I'm like, Brooklyn should have walked with him. I don't know why she keeps falling back with this. She need to be where he's at. I'll be at. I'm like, I'm gonna be right there with you. Why you want to sit over there and talk to her by yourself? Anyway, at the door, though, here goes the part though. She says, I got to do background checks on everybody, all my staff. And do you know if Kai, if he was at the house during the whole incident or something stupid like that? She asked him. And so now she's looking into Kai. I'm telling you, she gonna start messing with Kai. Either she gonna make him look like a terrible person, maybe try to get him arrested or something like that, or she gonna wind up going after him and Trina. So this is gonna get bad real fast. So we're gonna see what happens with this. So Jordan and Justine were at the yoga studio and then they were doing some yoga or whatever. And at the end of it, they started talking about the case with Jordan said she was just came from Marco's service. So Justine was just like she's having a bad day because she was just on the phone with WSB and they demanded stuff and all types of things like that. So she's just done. And so they kind of went back and forth about how Sidwell is blaming Sonny for this. But Justine doesn't think that Sonny had anything to do with this. The funny part is how Jordan was side eyeing her, kind of like, oh, so you taking up for Sonny, you have a personal interest in this. But Justine, I mean, thinking, like a thinking person, Jordan should know this before Justine because Jordan's been on the picture longer than Justine. She was like, this is not Sonny's MO. Why would he do this? Like, why would he do this at his lawyer's office? Why would he do it in that type of way? Why? Like any of this stuff, it don't add up. So when she said it the way she said it, Jordan was just like, you know what? You're right. No, I don't think that Sonny would do it. She should have already knew that without Justine having to say all that. So, Justine did give her some information that they are looking into Sidwell about that whole thing that happened at Charlie's. See, Jordan not knowing what's going on. She looked a little shocked about that they looking into Sidwell. I'm like, if they was gonna make Jordan be I'm gonna infiltrate or do the secret mission or whatever, they should have made her get a little information. They just took her whole all the way out of the picture and made her clueless to everything. Like, whatever. So with that, Justine was kind of warning Jordan. She's like, just be careful with Sidwell. But I think Jordan knows that much that she should be careful. But I do think what she said to Justine makes a lot of sense, that she likes the job because she gets to be around her family, that being police commissioner and all that other stuff that she was doing before was taking her away from them, and now she gets to spend more time with the people that she loves. So she's not really interested in trying to go back into that field. She wants to be around her family and having time, which is understandable. That's what most people want. But it's like she's blindsiding her because Jordan is like not seeing anything that Stilwell is up to, right? She is just, I guess she was keeping her fingers crossed that this was a real job or something like that. But I don't know. I think things are going to get really dangerous with for Jordan around Sidwell. And maybe she can find out the other half of what Sidwell was up to with that stuff that he was doing down in his basement. Like, that stuff that Britt's working on. So guys, what did you think was your favorite part about this episode? What was your least favorite part? I think my least favorite part is that they setting Jacinda up to seem like she gonna be the spy for Charlotte, and then it's gonna turn Valentine. And let's not do that to Jacinda. Let's give her a better storyline. Let's stick to what she's doing. Let's her and Michael be good, and she get her life right. Let's stick that. Don't put her in the mix too yet. Let her get herself together first. So guys, what did you think? Let me know down in the comment section. I love to hear your comments. I try to answer every comment that comes our way. If you don't want to leave a comment, I love a thumbs up, smiley face, or any kind of heart emoji. And don't forget to hit that bell notification and a like and subscribe because it really helps the channel. And thank you for joining us again at GHT Time. Till next time, bye.